Hi, I'm Laura with Laura's Crafty Life, and today I'm going to show you how you can make your own holiday binder. I have an entire series on the blog on how to organize your holiday. I don't know about you, but the last 3 months of the year always fly by for me. I want to be able to enjoy the holiday and make time for the things that matter most to me, spending time with my family and friends. To do this, I know I need to get organized. And since I know many of my readers feel overwhelmed at this time of year, I thought we could do it together. This series, Organize Your Holiday, will help us get ready for the busy season ahead. This way we can slow down and enjoy the magic of the season. Knowing I have one place for everything holiday related means I can stay on top of all of the things. To do this, I decided to create a holiday binder. Inside, I have everything you need to keep track of calendars, food, entertaining, budgets, and more. Start by choosing a binder. A 1 or 2 inch binder works best. I like the ones with the D-ring because the pages tend to lay flatter and they're easier to turn. You also might want to choose a binder that has a sleeve so you can add the cover and the spine to it. You can also choose a pretty fabric binder. I got this one from Target. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have pockets, but if you use page dividers with pockets, then that eliminates that problem. The next thing you're going to need is some page dividers that you can use to separate the different sections of your binder. I really like the dividers with the pocket folders. It gives me extra space to put things if I don't have a chance to punch them right away. And also, if you're using page protectors on any of your pages, the ones with the pockets allow the page protector to sit on the inside part of the tab. Sometimes if you get normal dividers without pockets, your tab will end up being here and your page protectors will stick out past your dividers. So I tend to like the ones with the pockets. And speaking of page protectors, I also like to keep some page protectors on hand. I'll usually stick a little stack of these at the back of the binder behind all of my printables. I like to use them if I don't want to punch holes in something. And then I also use them to create reusable checklists. These page protectors work great because you can write on them with a wet erase marker and use them over and over again. And now you want to make sure you use a wet erase marker and not a dry erase marker. If you use the dry erase marker, it will often rub off from the friction of the pages rubbing together. But if you use a wet erase marker, allow it to dry, then it will stay on there and you can even, wipe your finger across it, and you just need to use a little damp cloth to clean it off to be able to reuse your pages. So you're also going to need a home printer and some printer paper, and you may also want to have some white cardstock. All of these printables are available for free on my website. Each printable has a separate blog post where you can download the printable and get even more ideas on how to use each one in your binder. If you don't want to have to click through over 30 blog posts to find the printables, you can also purchase this entire printable pack of the Organize Your Holiday binder in my shop. All the links to the printables and supplies will be listed below in the description. Start by printing the binder cover and the spine. The spine can be cut to fit any size binder. I like to use a paper trimmer to cut any of my printables because then I get nice straight even lines, but you can always use scissors. To do the spine, you're just going to measure the width of your spine on your binder and then cut it to fit. So I already have one ready to go. So you'll just slide it into the spine of the binder. Sometimes it helps to lay the binder flat. So you can have that, and then you'll pull out any inserts and add your cover to your binder. You can also print a second cover to go on the back side. And I like to choose a white binder because the base of the binder printable is white, so it looks really nice and clean, but you can see what this looks like. Now you're going to want to add your page dividers into your binder. I really like these, and I'll link these specific dividers below. I like the colors and how they match all the printables that I've created. When you add your dividers, you're going to want to brainstorm categories for the binder. Some ideas might be planning, calendars, budget, shopping, food, crafts, holidays, and then have a separate tab for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even the other holidays throughout the year. Gifts, cards, contacts, home decor, entertaining. So really the categories are up to you, and that's what's so great about creating your own binder, because you can make it work for you and your family. So my sections are planning, budget, gifts, cards, shopping, food, entertaining, and miscellaneous. So I used my label maker to print out the labels, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add these to the dividers and then add the dividers to the binder. My tip for using a label maker and printing out labels, especially when you're doing a lot of different little labels, is to type the word, make a space, and then type the next word, make a space. That way you're not using so much, because you can see if you were to print out each one individually, you'd have all this label, this whole section on either side of the word, and it wastes a lot of label tape. So this way you can save a little bit of tape as you're using your label maker. So now you can see I've got all of my dividers labeled, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to the binder. If you don't have a label maker, you can certainly use the little tabs that come with the dividers. A lot of times now they come where you can even print them out on your home computer if you don't like your handwriting. And so this is what we're starting with. The first section we're going to walk through is the planning section. This section will help you plan out everything you want to do in an organized way. So the first printable is a holiday schedule. So this is basically a blueprint to help guide you through setting up your binder. You can check things off as you go to make sure you don't miss anything. So the first step, we're setting up our holiday binder. Then we're going to work on holiday bucket list, holiday calendar, create a schedule. And I've planned all of these things out in a specific order to help you get ready for the holiday in the most efficient way possible. So I'm going to go ahead and add this first one, but I'm going to add it to a page protector. So that way I can use my wet erase markers on it, and also it'll just keep it a little more protected since it's going to be the first page in my binder. This way I can reference this page easily. It's the first page when you open up the binder, and I can check things off as I go. So I'm going to open the planning section, and then you have a holiday bucket list. So it's a blank list you can use to brainstorm ideas for everything you want to do this holiday season. So you're going to want to include all the ideas you have for where you want to go, what you want to do, who you want to see, and why you celebrate. So make sure you include any family traditions and any new activities you want to try. This is the perfect time to have a family meeting and figure out what everyone in your family wants to do. I've done this before and sat down, and certain traditions or events that I thought everybody really loved, sometimes the rest of my family didn't really care if we did those things, and then there were other things that were very important to them. So I wanted to make sure that I'm including everyone in the family on our bucket list. So this is just a brainstorm, brain dump, write everything down. Nothing's off limits on this page. Dream big. And so I know sometimes this can be overwhelming, or you feel like you're missing things. So you can also get a free printable fall bucket list and a winter bucket list. And both of these have a ton of ideas for things you can do for the holidays, and these can give you and your family some good ideas to jump off with. So we're gonna punch a hole in this one, and you can fill it out and then add it to your binder. And then these two I'm going to go ahead and put in page protectors. If you don't want to use page protectors, you can always use a laminator and laminate special pages in your binder as well. As you use your binder from year to year, this list will become a valuable tool to reflect back on to plan your holiday. You can see maybe the things that you didn't have time for, or the things that you did but everybody kind of grumbled about or didn't want to actually do. So you can use this from year to year and add to it, and then decide from year to year what things you want to add to your calendar. So next up are the holiday calendars. You get a blank one for October, November, December, and then a blank calendar that doesn't have a month on it that you can use any month of the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and punch these and add them to my binder under planning. None of the calendars have dates on them, so you can reuse this printable every year for your planning. You'll just simply write in the dates yourself when looking at the calendar, and then you can fill it out accordingly. So that's the first step. You're gonna wanna start by dating the calendars for this current year. Then you're gonna add in any scheduled events you already know about. So you might have, like in October, fall break and Halloween and Thanksgiving break and winter break, and maybe you already know about your kids' sports schedules. Go ahead and write down anything that you already know is on the schedule so you can start getting a picture of where you have free time and where you don't. Then you're gonna go back to your bucket list and you're gonna start filling in where you will have time to do those bucket list items. And then as new things come up throughout the season, before you say yes to any new invitations, make sure you check your calendar first. So if, for example, the PTA asks you to bake cookies a certain week, but you know your week is already very full of other activities, you can either say, no, I can't participate this time around, or maybe you can offer to drop off some store-bought cookies. But knowing what you have in your calendar and not overbooking yourself and overwhelming yourself can really help to cut down on stress this holiday season, because you have to remember that every yes that you give means an automatic no to something else, because you only have a limited number of hours in each day and you can't do everything. And I think a lot of us, especially as women, we tend to say yes to everything and then we get overwhelmed and feel a lot of stress around the holiday season time. So I have a few more planning printables you can use to plan out your days in this busy holiday season. So I have a daily planning schedule. This includes a time schedule on one side, a place for a to-do list, and then a couple little spots for notes. I also have one that is just black and white. So if you don't want to use your color printer for printing out daily pages because you'd be printing these out more often, these are both available on the post with the printables for the daily schedule. So you can use these every day, or you can just print them out on days when you have a really busy day and you need to stay a little more organized. I also have a printable to-do list, which is very plain again, so you can just print these out as much as you need and use them over and over again, and just a notes page. So you can add these anywhere in your binder that makes sense, so you always have a place to jot things down. This way you're not writing things down in a bunch of different spots and things get lost or overlooked. So the next section I have in my binder is for budgeting. Most of us don't have unlimited cash on hand to spend on the holidays, and I'd like to think most of us don't want to go into debt when we're celebrating our favorite holidays. These budget printables are going to help you stay on track throughout the holiday season. Money can cause a lot of stress, and the holidays bring with them a lot of extra expenses. They're not necessarily unexpected, but there's a lot of extras. You're buying gifts, you're hosting parties, you are participating in fundraisers for school, you're maybe going on trips for fall break or Thanksgiving break, and all of those things add up to a lot of extra expenses you might not have the rest of the year. So you want to make sure you plan for all of those things, even preferably a year in advance, to get on top of it and make sure that money is not something that's causing you extra stress throughout the holiday season. So the first one is a holiday budget planner. It's really simple. You just have a description, a budget amount, and then an actual amount, and then you can total everything up. So you can print as many of these as you need to plan out different aspects of your budget. So the way I like to start with this is to go ahead and grab my bucket list and or my calendars and start writing down things that I know I'm going to have to spend money on. So Christmas gifts, Christmas cards, postage, family photos, hosting Thanksgiving, buying Halloween costumes, all of those things you want to try to brainstorm and add as many as you can, and then look at your finances and figure out what you realistically can budget for each of those specific items. And then you can even break them down further and separate your budget more. You could break out, if you're going to do Christmas gifts, we actually have some planners for that later. But basically you want to sit down and try to think of everything you spend money on over the holiday season and start budgeting for it now. Maybe setting aside a little bit each month to be able to afford all of the things that you want to do. So if you are working on savings, you can use this tracker any time of the year, and you will put the item you're saving for. So it could just be holidays, it could be Christmas gifts, it could be Halloween, whatever you want to do. You're going to put your goal date of when you want to have the full amount. As you save, then you can mark off the jar and see a very visible reminder of how much you have saved. This is the time to be really honest with yourself about what you can afford to do and participate in this season. It may mean you need to get creative to find more free or low-cost activities this season, and that's okay. But as we all know, money can cause a ton of stress for the holidays, and the whole point of getting organized is to be real about what we can and cannot realistically do. So I'm going to go ahead and add these to the budget section. So I have them ready to start filling out. Okay, so the next section that I have in my binder is gifts. You can definitely include the gifts printables in with the shopping section or the budget section, but I like to have everything related to gifts in one spot. So the first tracker is a holiday gift tracker. You can track the person, who the gift is going to, what the gift is, how much it costs, what store you're buying it from, when it's been wrapped, and when it's been shipped if it's something that you need to ship. So how I like to use this gift tracker is that I will print out one sheet for each immediate family member. So my husband, and then one sheet for each of my 2 kids. Since I tend to buy more gifts for my kids and my husband, it's easier to just have, I'll just write the name here and then just list all their gifts, the prices, the stores wrapped, and then sometimes I'll write myself a little note of where I have hidden the presents until it's time to put them out for Christmas. And then I'll print out one more to include family, and then another one to include friends or other things that I may need to buy gifts for. This is a great printable to use in conjunction with your budget printable, because you can budget a certain amount for gifts or even for each individual person, and then you can know as you're adding up the prices if you are going over or if you are under for how much you're spending on each person's gift. Make sure to not forget to include other people in your life you maybe buy or make gifts for. So people like your kids' teachers, your mail person, your hairstylist, anybody like that that you might make or buy a gift for. Next is a gifts to make tracker. So this page allows you to track 2 different projects on it. If this is your first time to my YouTube channel, you might not know that along with getting organized, I share lots of craft ideas on my site, and I love to make handmade gifts. This printable will help you get organized so you can plan out every detail of making gifts this holiday. So on this sheet, you have a place to list the person for who the gift is for, what the project is, when you need to have it done by, listing out all your supplies. You can draw a little sketch, possibly a to-do list, listing out all the steps of your project, and then a notes where you can either write, shopping notes or anything else about the project. And you could fold this in half and take it with you, toss it in your purse, so when you're going shopping at the craft store or whatever, you can have these lists with you. In the gift section, I also have a blank gift list, checklist, and a wish list. So these are just very simple lists that you can just, instead of having all the details, you can just write things out really quickly. You can use these to brainstorm ideas, or you can give this wish list to your spouse or your kids and have them fill out what they want for Christmas or their birthday or whatever you're using them for. Next up, I want to help you make gift giving easy. So I have some printable gift tags you can use. They just say to and from, and then they have cute little images on them. I like to print tags and things like that on heavy cardstock, and then you can use either a paper trimmer or some scissors to cut these out. And then you would just punch a little hole at the top of the tag and add some ribbon and add it to your gift. So I know sometimes I have wrapped a gift and I think, oh shoot, I don't have any tags for it. So this makes it easy to just always have some on hand. So I like to stick this in a page protector, and you can even cut them out and add them to a page protector or to the front of your gift section in the, whoops, this is the budget. In the gift section in the little envelope. And then going along with gifts and gift wrapping and tags, I have a whole post on the blog on how to organize your gift wrapping supplies. I will link it in the description below, but it has a lot of helpful tips on how to organize all those supplies so it makes it easy to wrap gifts throughout the season. And then last up is a stocking stuffer tracker. So there's a place to write the person's name, what the item is, check off when you've either bought it or put it in the stocking, and then the price. You can certainly add all of these ideas to the main gift tracker, but since this often includes like a lot of little small items, I made a separate tracker to stay organized. I like to buy a lot of these little small things throughout the year. As I see them when I'm shopping, they're usually little items. So this way I can write them down and keep track of them so I know I'm not buying too much, maybe for my daughter or my son, and know exactly what I've already bought and what I still need to get. So we're gonna go ahead and punch all of these and add them to the gift section. The next section that I have in my binder is for Christmas cards. If you don't send out holiday cards, you can skip making this a section in your binder, but I do have some printables that you might still find helpful that you could add to a different section of your binder. So the first one is a Christmas photo checklist. So it has things like pictures of your favorite holiday decorations, pictures of the milk and cookies for Santa, some pictures of the ornaments on the tree, baking with the family, whatever your favorite family tradition is, wrapping presents, your Christmas pajamas, and things like that. Every year I want to capture certain photos throughout the season, but when things get busy, sometimes I forget. This list has some great ideas that you can use to help you remember. You can also use one of the blank note pages for this, so you could write down maybe a list of all the pictures that you want to take and then add it to along with this Christmas photo list. It also helps to fill out one of these note pages when you're going to get family photos done to have a list of all the poses or shots you don't want to forget, so you can give them to your photographer and you can make sure you get all of those poses. And so the reason I include things about Christmas photos in my card section is because typically we get those photo cards printed out where we get our Christmas photos done, and then I use that photo for our Christmas cards that we send out. The next printable is a holiday cards tracker. This will help you keep track of sending out all of those holiday cards. It's basically like a little mini address book. So there's a place for the family name or all of the names, the address, and then a place to mark off whether you sent or received a card from that person. If you print this double-sided and then place it in a page protector, you can check it off when you send a card and reuse it each year. And I also suggest to use a pencil or an erasable pen so you can update this as needed, because obviously people's address changes throughout the years. Then I have a printable thank you note. So you're going to want to print this on heavy cardstock again, and then you can cut it out using a paper trimmer or your scissors. Once it's printed out, you can write a little message on the back, and then if you keep a stack of A1 size envelopes, which you can find at the craft store, then you have these on hand anytime you need one, and you can just print them as needed throughout the holiday season. And speaking of thank you notes, I also have a thank you note tracker. You can use this to help you keep track of sending out thank you notes. It's great for kids because you can use one page per child and they can keep track of all of the notes they're writing, even if it's just a simple text or an email to say thank you for the gifts that they received from family. This printable I made not holiday themed, so you can use it for any occasion. So you could use it for a birthday, for a wedding, for a party, Christmas, anything you want to use it for. You'll write the occasion up at the top, who the gift was from, what the gift was, and then you can check off once you've sent the thank you card. So I am going to put this photo list in a page protector. I'm going to punch the two And then I'm gonna add this page of thank you notes to the front so I have them on hand whenever I need them. The next section is the shopping section. Again, many of these printables can be used in different sections of the binder. You could put them in with gifts or your budget, and that's really why I love using a binder, because I can make it unique to my situation and what works best for me, and you can do the same with your holiday binder. So the first printable is just a general shopping list. It just says shopping list and then has a lot of space to write and then check marks to mark off whatever you're purchasing. And then I also have a Black Friday and a Cyber Monday shopping. The Black Friday shows the store, what the items are, the price, and the time when they are available. The Cyber Monday is basically the same thing, but instead of store, it says website, and you can write the item, the price, and the time, or the date of when the things are on sale. Let's punch all of these and add them to the binder. The reason I like to have a separate shopping section is because it doesn't always coincide with gifts. Sometimes I need a shopping list for planning a holiday party or Halloween or different things, so I like to just have a separate section, and then I can pull these out easily and take them with me to the store. I think for just about everybody, you're gonna need a food section. Holidays tend to revolve around food. We're entertaining more, having parties, celebrating special dinners like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So this whole section is dedicated to all things food. So first up, we have a holiday menu planner. You can use this for Thanksgiving, Christmas, holiday dinners, whatever you have. It has a place to list appetizers, sides, and vegetables, main dishes, desserts, beverages, and then you can write a shopping list on the side to take with you to the store. I also love this printable if I'm planning a potluck type party, because you can write out what each person is bringing and their name, and then you can make sure you stay on top of everybody bringing the dishes that they have signed up for. And one last thing, so if you're planning a holiday menu, so for example, let's say you're hosting Thanksgiving or Christmas, you can write everything out and kind of get an idea of what you need to purchase. Especially if you're not doing a potluck and you're buying everything yourself, and then you can make sure that you add this to your budget planner, so you make sure that you save a little extra in your grocery budget that week or that month to plan for that event. I also have some printable recipe cards you can use. Again, you're going to want to print these on cardstock so they're not so flimsy, and then there's a line you can use to cut them out. These are great to keep on hand so you can easily share recipes with family and friends. There's a lot of times during the holidays when you make something for someone and they really want the recipe, so this is an easy way to share it. Next up, we have just a very plain grocery list. I use a printable grocery list every week when I plan out my shopping. I almost always order my groceries from Walmart, and I do curbside pickup, but I still write out the list ahead of time so that I don't forget anything. I check it off and make sure that I've added everything to my mobile order. I made this one very plain and printed in black and white because I typically use these every week and I don't want to be using a ton of color ink for that. The holidays and colder weather tend to mean more baking, so I created a handy baking checklist to keep in my binder. This way, at the beginning of the season, I can check my pantry against the supply list and see if there's anything I need. So I always have what I need on hand when I want to go bake something. And this is a great way to look for items that you're probably going to be using a lot in your baking. So if there's sales on any of these items, you can stock up for the season. Last but not least, I have some printable holiday baking tags. They say baked with love, happy holidays. You want to print these on cardstock again. You'll cut them out with a paper trimmer or scissors, punch a little hole at the top, and then use ribbon or twine to attach it to your gift. This makes it very easy to share your baked treats with all the people that you love. So we're going to put these here in the front so I have them when I need them. Another thing I like to do in this food section is I will print out or write out our favorite holiday recipes that we use all the time. We have certain family traditions for things we make every Thanksgiving or every Christmas, so this way I can put them in page protectors, add them to my binder, and then I always have these recipes easy and I don't have to go hunting all over Pinterest or my recipe books or anything like that, so I have them just readily available in my binder and ready to go for the holidays. The next section I have in my binder is for entertaining. I know not everyone entertains guests, but many of us have families staying with us or even plan small dinner parties with friends. So I have a couple printables you can use to make that a little bit easier. I also have lots of great ideas on the blog for getting ready for holiday guests. I will list a post in the description all about that for more details on this. So the first printable is a party planning schedule. So you can see it lists things 2 months before, 6 weeks before, 1 month, 3 weeks, 1 week, 3 days before, a couple days before, and then the day of. It's a timeline to help you plan for parties and big events that you might be hosting in your home. So say for example, you're hosting Thanksgiving. You can use this checklist to add each of these tasks to your calendar to make sure you have plenty of time to get everything ready. The more planning and preparation you can do early, the less stress you'll have as the event gets closer. You don't want to leave everything for the last minute when you already have extra full schedules this time of year. So some of these things won't necessarily apply if you're planning something like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, like deciding on a theme, but you might have a theme for your dinner. Sometimes people like to do that, or for your decorations or things like that. So this gives you a nice timeline to help you plan all of that out. And then make sure you add all of these things to your calendar so that you can check them off and make sure that you have plenty of time to do everything you need or to delegate to other family members. And then I also have a simple guest list. So if you're tracking that, you can list out the name, whether an invitation has been sent, their RSVP, yes or no, if it's an event that involves a gift, and then if you need to send a thank you, even like I said, if it's a text or a quick email just to say thank you for coming. And again, I'm gonna put this party planning schedule in a page protector so then I can reuse it by checking things off as I go or add them to the calendar. This last section has printables that don't necessarily fit anywhere else in my binder, but they're still helpful for staying organized. So the first two are a list of movies to watch and books to read. They're just a simple checklist where you can write all of those down. And then when the kids were younger, we did a book advent every year leading up to Christmas. I wrapped each of their Christmas books and put a number on each one, and then they switched off each night unwrapping a book, and we would read that book for their story for the night. In our house, we only pull out the holiday books around the holiday time, so it makes those books seem even more fun and special. And then these two last ones are specific to Christmas, so I have a printable letter to Santa. It's a sweet little letter that even beginning writers can fill out and send to Santa. In the post that talks about this, I have details about how you can send the letter to Santa and receive a letter back postmarked from the North Pole, so that's very exciting, so check that out. But this basically, it's got the main parts filled out so your child doesn't have to write as much, and then they can just fill in the little pieces. So my name is, I am blank years old, I live in blank, here's a few of the good things I've done this year, and here's what I would like most for Christmas, and then I will leave you a special treat of cookies or brownies or whatever you leave as your family tradition. And then last but certainly not least, I have a Christmas countdown. You can use this to mark off the days leading up to Christmas. So you can use like a sticker on each one, which is fun for toddlers. Or you can make this reusable by laminating it or putting it in a frame or a page protector. And then you can hang it on the fridge and mark off each day with a magnet. I'm going to keep it in a page protector, so that way deciding what I want to use this for Christmas, whether I put it in a frame or end up laminating it, then it's ready to go at Christmas time. And then like I said at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and place a few extra page protectors in the back, so if I need to add anything. So now I have these available so I can quickly add things. I will probably also go back and print out some extra notes pages, to-do lists, things like that, so that I just have them ready to go in my binder and can pull them out whenever I need them. I hope you found this video helpful and you got some good ideas for getting organized this holiday season. Again, you can find all the printables for free on my blog linked below in the description, and you can also quickly purchase the entire printable PDF packet in my shop. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed or need a little more accountability with setting up your binder, you can sign up for the Organize Your Holiday email series. Each day, you'll get a new email with a link to the printable for that day. It breaks up setting up your binder into manageable chunks so you can do a little at a time. You can sign up for this series any time of year. Plus, if you sign up for the email series, you'll get a new email anytime I publish a new printable on the blog that goes along with your binder. A little bit of planning goes a long way to help ease the anxiety and overwhelm of the busy holiday season. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more craft and organizing video tutorials.